Hello and welcome to the Rangers Journal. My name is Kai Watson. This is episode 8 in the series 5 players Rangers could sign. Winner of the last poll was Brazil. Brazil was actually quite a tough one. It's obviously very exciting to look at players in South America, and Brazil being one of the biggest nations there. Obviously, a factory of talent, flair players, players that are good in the ball, just exciting players in general. So it was exciting when they won the poll, exciting to look at players, but looking at the market, there's not very many bargains to be had. A lot of the young players also of very high value, so this was a tough one. So I needed quite a lot of help. So a massive shout out to the Alaska Football Spy on Twitter, they were great in helping me find players that kind of fit the player trading model that Rangers are trying to do just now, and players that were probably realistic to what we're looking for. One on the list might not be realistic, but it was a player that I really like the look of and I hadn't heard of, who's now breaking through. So it's one of those ones if Rangers get in just now, they might be able to get them. But let's get started. Just preface this as well. Some of these, well, the first player stats are from the Brasileiro, and other stats are from the competitions that are going on just now in Brazil. So the cup competitions kind of in between the new league season starting. First player on the list is Raquel, who's a 20-year-old Brazilian left back. 6 foot, plays for Cuiabá, sorry, I've absolutely butchered that name, and transfer market up and valued at 1.4 million. So in 31 appearances last season, 27 starts, he had 6 clean sheets, 1 goal, 1 assist. 77% pass success rate, 0.6 key passes per game, 1.3 interceptions, 2 tackles, 3.5 recoveries, 54% ground duels won, and 62% aerial duels won. So obviously very impressive numbers there. Looking at the notes I got on Raquelme, so he was formerly a winger, who's now thriving playing left back. He's a physically powerful and dominant profile. Like I say, he likes to get stuck in. The defensive numbers are very good. Provides solidity at the back, and he is getting better going forward. Kind of seen that towards the end of last season. His attacking game's improving, which is weird to say for a player that was a left winger that's moved back. You would normally assume it's the other way about, but defensively very solid, a good one-on-one defender. Like I said, physically dominant. He's just working on kind of perfecting that forward side of the game. Capable of playing in the back four, which might seem like a weird thing to say, but a lot of kind of left wing backs these days struggle when they're playing in a back four, and that's mostly due to the defensive side of it. But Riquelme's good in that end, so Rangers obviously currently at least play a back four, so he could slot in there. And also I think his games would translate to higher levels of football than what he's currently playing at. So the side he's playing at a mid-table side in Brazil, so it would be good to see him play in a side that's more dominant on the ball like Rangers are. They obviously have more attacks than their opponents. It'd be interesting to see how the attacking game translates. But like I said, defensive side of the game is good, which is something you don't always have, and sometimes you do need that defensive solidity. So I think he could be an interesting option available at a decent price. Next player we have is actually another left back. So Hugo is 22 years old. Again, Brazilians, 5'9", plays for Botafogo and transfer market having valued at 1.6 million. In 12 appearances, 9 of which were from the start, he's got 0 goals but 5 assists, averaging 172 minutes per goal contribution. 77% pass accuracy with 1.7 key pass per game, 3.2 interceptions, 7.2 recoveries, 41% duels won, and 1.8 successful dribbles. So pretty much the complete opposite of Riquelme. The defensive numbers are decent in interceptions and recoveries, but the duels won and the kind of number of tackles he puts in per game are nowhere near Riquelme's level. So the notes I have on him talk about how good he is going forward. Obviously, 1.7 key passes per game and 5 assists, 172 minutes per goal contribution shows the kind of level of game he has going forward. Strong dribbler, like almost 2 successful dribbles per game. He's very athletic and he gets in great attacking positions. He's another one that you could see kind of playing as a winger that's moved back, but whereas Riquelme's moved back into the position and had been really strong defensively, Hugo's kept that attacking side of his game and a real weapon going forward. So it's mostly his one-on-one defending and obviously the dual numbers that could improve. But in a side like Rangers that dominate the ball, dominate most games, is it going to be a massive deal? It's interesting to think that Riquelme would be the kind of solidity in defence, whereas Hugo would be the option going forward. Obviously, combining the two would be ideal, but that's not the world we live in. So it'd be interesting to see looking at both players. They both offer different things. Would be available for decent prices or a good age, 20 and 22, very good profiles. If we're looking for someone to replace Barisic, I think these are two brilliant options. Moving on to the next player, who is Fabinho, who was highly recommended by Football Spy. 21-year-old Brazilian, plays as a number six. He's 5'10", currently plays for Palmeiras and transfer market having valued at 4 million. Five appearances, two from the start. He's averaging 86% pass accuracy, just under one interception, 1.2 tackles, 2.4 recoveries, and then the duel numbers are very impressive. 61% ground duel won and 60% aerial duels won. So looking at Fabinho, he's struggled to get into the Palmeiras starting 11. They've obviously got a very, very strong side if you know anything about Brazilian football. But looking at him individually, he ranks highly in defensive actions, aerial duels won, and touches per game. He's very aggressive, an excellent ball winner, comfortable in possession, mobile on and off the ball. He could be open to a move because obviously he's not breaking through that Palmeiras midfield, and that could affect the price as well. He comes off the bench almost every game. He's very effective in what he does, good at helping them see out games, kind of get them on the ball, keep the ball moving. I'd actually say he's very similar to what John Lundstrom offers Rangers. He's not got that attacking prowess, so he's the ball winner that breaks up the play, that keeps the ball moving. Brilliant passer of the ball, but I wouldn't expect too much kind of creatively from him. So I think if Lundstrom does leave, genuinely could be the perfect replacement. 21-year-old Brazilian who's got experience at the top levels in Brazil. I don't think they'd be looking for as much as 4 million for him. Like I said, he's a bench player. He's crucial coming off the bench for them, as in helping them see out the games, and he's just very effective in what he does. So I think being that ball winner, the player that helps us win the ball back, but not just win it back, keeps the ball moving. He's always that option that becomes available. So I think he could be an excellent option if we're looking to replace John Lundstrom. The next player is the one I mentioned at the start of the video that might not be completely realistic. So Allison Santana is an 18-year-old Brazilian right winger, currently plays for Atletico Mineiro. Transfer market having valued at 1.3 million, but there's absolutely no way that any club is going to get him for that. Seven appearances so far, three from the start. He's got one goal and one assist, averaging a goal contribution every 132 minutes. 9% conversion rate. Obviously, wingers have a lower conversion rate than expected from strikers, but the 9% is pretty low. But as I previously mentioned, he's only 18. 73% pass accuracy, 0.6 key passes per game, one interception, and kind of the crown and jewel of his game is the 4.1 successful dribbles per game. That's the thing that makes him stand out the most. He's a tall winger at 6 foot, he's left footed cutting in from the right, but he's so comfortable on the ball. He loves to get on the ball, loves to drive at opponents, especially taking opponents on, links up the play really well with the other forward players. He's got a brilliant. Despite the 9% conversion rate, he does have a brilliant left foot. Like you can see, he's technically very gifted. Just the only thing he needs to work on is obviously finishing with the 9% conversion rate and decision making. He does take a lot of shots despite the lack of minutes, which is why the conversion rate is so low. It's not necessarily that he's missing a lot of gilt edge chances or he's missing loads of sitters. It's just with the amount of shots he takes that the conversion rate is going to be low because it's not always the best decisions that he's making. But again, like I previously mentioned, he's 18. He's an excellent profile. If Rangers could be in the running for him, I say anywhere under, we've obviously paid upwards of five, just under 6 million for Danilo. See if you could even pay that for Allison and he comes in and hits the ground running, you're going to easily treble your money on that. It's such an interesting profile of a player, being tall, quick, left footed, cutting in from the right. Again, only 18. He could massively improve his game when it comes to decision making and finishing. So if you could bring him in, get him to develop that side of the game, he's pretty much guaranteed profit. It all just depends on what Atletico Mineiro will be kind of looking for him and what clubs start sniffing about in the summer. The final player on the list is probably my personal favourite and the most interesting one for me, probably the most realistic as well. Renato Marquez is a 20-year-old Brazilian striker who currently plays for America Mineiro. He's 5'11" in transfer market, having valued at 400k. In eight appearances with five from the start, he's got four goals and one assist, currently averaging 122 minutes per goal. 24% conversion rate, 73% pass accuracy with 0.6 key passes per game, one interception and 1.2 successful dribbles. So American Mineiro got relegated last season, the same as obviously Santos went down. So that could hopefully drive the price down. I don't think we'd be able to drive it down for 400k, but I don't think 400k is the actual base rate that they'd be looking for Marquez. Very good physical presence, he puts himself about, he's got good feet in tight areas, he holds the ball up well, he can also carry it himself, as you can see from the 1.2 successful dribbles. Very comfortable with both feet, not afraid to hit any first time shots coming into the box on his left or right. Very decent in the air. Again, the decision making could improve. He takes a lot of shots where he could probably pass it off or take a couple extra touches and then have the shot. But he's only 20. He's such an exciting profile. He's tall enough at 5'11", puts himself about. He kind of reminds me of Richarlison in that sense. He's got a bit of pace, good strength, good in the air, decent with both feet. He just gets himself about, very physical striker, kind of in that Morelos mode, or like I said, Richarlison, just sticking with the Brazilian link. She's a very interesting player. Again, with them being relegated, they might be looking to move him on for a bit of money. So I think he's exactly the profile of player Rangers should be looking for. He's got a bit of everything. And again, he's only 20, so there's massive room for improvement. And he could be an absolute bargain if you look at bringing him in. Again, I just want to say a massive shout out to the Alaska Football Spy for the help on this. Brazilian market is really tough. There's a lot of value in there. You can see the fees some young players have went for, like Moscardo just went to PSG. I think it was for around 18 million, with barely having played any first team football. So there's so much money being thrown at youngsters in Brazil, which is maybe why Allison wouldn't be a realistic kind of target. But he's not played that many first team games that if Rangers get in quick, he could be an option. But there's some other great options on there. Like I really like the look of Fabinho and Renato Marquez. So there is options here. It was just a much more difficult market than other ones I've looked at. Next week's video has already been decided. So Uruguay won that poll, and that will be the last time we're in South America for a bit. So please leave in the comments down below the leagues you'd like to see. I can put them in a poll for the next one, but next episode is going to be Uruguay. So a massive thank you for watching, and again, if you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. It really helps with the algorithm. Also, please join us for the podcast live at 7:30 tonight. We'll be talking all things Celtic, so please come along and join us. Look forward to seeing you there, and have a great day.